The 11 million tourists who visit New Orleans each year experience a rich cultural gumbo of Creole cooking, Dixieland jazz, and black magic. But for the locals, it's different.
When you're going to use your calories, you want to use them wisely.
Food can be deadly.
I weigh 288 pounds.
Voodoo can be healing. And music is often the underscore for physical and spiritual pain. Lifestyles in the Big Easy. This may look like a typical street party, but in New Orleans, nothing is typical. In fact, the guest of honor is no longer living.
I think that when you get to heaven, which Mr. Al is doing right now, when you walk up to the gates and you ring the doorbell, the big gates are going to swing open. And in heaven,
Albert Broussard is being buried today.
He got the most he could out of 95 years.
A prominent figure on the local music scene, Papa Bruce, as he was known to everybody, was a Bourbon Street piano player. He died of a heart attack at the age of 95.
So, band members, could y'all come on up?
And today, most of his 33 grandchildren and 76 great-grandchildren are here not to mourn his death, but rather to celebrate his life, New Orleans style, with a jazz funeral. Because in New Orleans, people deal with their grief with this unique rite of passage.
All funerals are necessary, and the style of that funeral needs to meet the needs of those people. And so in New Orleans, jazz funerals are necessary because jazz is such a great part of our culture and of our life.
And according to grief therapists, a jazz funeral gives mourners a sense of closure with its communal spirit.
I think the original purpose is to help people to move on, to help people who are dead, to help people who survive to move on and to grieve and to finish that process of grief.
Like most New Orleans jazz funerals, Al Broussard's last rite won't be a private affair for very long. Because on the streets of the French Quarter, it becomes a celebration for all. Mary Milan is getting ready to perform a healing. But she's not a doctor or a therapist, and her methods are anything but conventional. She's a voodoo priestess who goes by the professional name of Bloody Mary. In New Orleans, voodoo has been a big part of the cultural fabric since the slaves brought it over from Haiti.
New Orleans has always been known for its magic. People still come here and feel that magic. And when they're here, they want to dabble in some of the original, which is voodoo, which is still prevalent in our town.
Today, there are over 10 voodoo priests and priestesses in the city who practice the rituals of this ancient religion that is based on nature.
Ritual baths, tarot readings, palm, ifa, which is a tossing of coins or bones, energy work. A variety of healings are still practiced by voodoo, and people still are seeking it to this very day in New Orleans.
Bloody Mary calls herself a swamp healer. And she's at the swamp today, seeking out elements of nature to help heal her client, Hannah Desmond, who's endured agonizing pain since she seriously injured her ankle in a fall 4 months ago.
I'm seeing Bloody Mary today because I've had a long-term problem with my ankle, and I've sought medical assistance for it. I've tried everything I could think of, and so I decided today I would call her and make an appointment and get together with her and see what she could do for me.
Voodoo is spiritual healing. The word voodoo translates to mean spirit or God force, which is in everything, all the elements of nature. What better place than to find what you need to use to help in that spiritual healing than in the swamps surrounded by the plants, surrounded by the animals, the very thing that teaches us how to heal. Right there.
Today, Mary finds clay in a crawfish mud hole. She calls clay earth magic.
Take a piece of that. That's Mississippi mud, rich clay.
Because, she says, man was made out of earth.
I have to mend someone who's broken, whether it is a bone, whether it's a muscle or a ligament. Smearing this over the area would help heal.
A nearby palmetto leaf will be used as an instrument in the healing.
I will use it as a blessing from and dip it into the water. But whenever you take something from nature that is alive, you ask permission and you give an offering. Will you work for me? Will you help me heal? Thank you.
And this moss from the Ponchatoula tree
The Ponchatoula.
will be used for a very special voodoo tool.
She'll put this in my pouch so that we can make a doll for healing.
There's only one more thing to do.
Now we have to find Hannah, heal her.
Actually, I exercise 4 times a week, at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on the weather.
Nia Davis is new to exercise.
Exercise was just not part of my vocabulary. Just walking from the car to the mall, from the car to the house, an occasional 10 minutes on a dance floor at a party, but that's basically it.
Almost 3 months ago, Nia made a dramatic lifestyle change for the first time in her 26 years.
When I initially started exercising, walking at a slow pace, 6 blocks, was about as far as I could go.
Nia got involved in a unique New Orleans health program called Fun Fit and Thinsome. It's teaching her how to change her eating habits, practice good nutrition, and replace her sedentary lifestyle with a more active one.
Right now I can go about 2 miles consistently and keeping up with a steady pace without getting tired or exhausted or out of breath.
So far, it seems to be working. In just 3 months, she's lost weight and gained self-esteem.
My energy level has definitely increased, and I enjoy exercise now, which is something I never thought that I would be able to say. When I miss a day, my body can definitely tell a difference.
For Nia, small changes are making a dramatic difference.
5 years ago, I took this picture.
For years, she fought a daily battle with obesity.
Was really trying to stay away from the camera that night, but somebody actually caught me, so I had no choice but to pose for this picture.
And these photos are a constant reminder of her struggle to lose weight.
Then the painful part is actually, looking at myself and knowing that I really wasn't happy at that point. I was really, depressed, and these are really not happy smiles. These are fake smiles.
Nia is a native New Orlean. She's had to deal with her obesity for years. And in New Orleans, obesity is epidemic, a silent killer. According to the Center for Disease Control, Louisiana ranks number 8 in deaths due to hypertension, number 7 in deaths due to heart disease, and number 1 in deaths due to diabetes. And Nia takes those statistics personally.
My father's hypertension and cardiovascular disease runs in his side of the family, as well as diabetes. And on my mother's side, diabetes and cardiovascular disease.
63% of black women in the region are overweight. 20% have no health insurance, and almost 25% live below the poverty level. Most of them have no access to exercise facilities or reliable nutritional guidance.
The average diet of a Louisianian consists of high-fat foods, high-saturated fat foods, high-sodium foods.
To help stem the problem, Deputy Director of Health Services for the City of New Orleans, Stephanie Bickman, came up with the Fun Fit and Thinsome program.
We were trying to reach out to those individuals who thought that they needed to have money in order to become physically fit. That they had to go to a fitness center, that they had to do something with someone else.
There is no city funding. And the program is run entirely by volunteers, like health sciences grad student Siobhan Arlene.
It's a predominantly black program, and they wanted to see someone that could teach them and talk to them the way that anyone else in the street would talk to them. Don't give me no booty. Come here and lean into the stretch.
The cost is nominal, $30 for 10 weeks.
4, 3.
There are about 17 women in each session.
For that $30, they receive a pre-assessment, a post-assessment. They have 10 weeks of classes, which equals to 40 classes. And those classes are broken down to 1 hour of nutrition classes on a Monday, followed by an hour of aerobic workout.
Oh, knock the curve out.
As part of the program, Nia and the other women spend 2 hours doing aerobics twice a week. It is hard work. For 60 minutes at a time, they run, jump, kick, stretch, squat, and sweat.
When I first started, I couldn't make it through her entire class. I would have to slow down and catch my breath. And so now I'm able to make it through her class and then take it a little step further. So I've definitely noticed that difference.
2 hours of aerobics per week is already reducing their risk of heart attack by 30%. It's a difficult adjustment, but the results are impressive.
4, 3.
We had a nice hard workout, so I feel good.
8, 7, 7.
This exercise program isn't just to help them look good. It will help keep these women alive. 10 weeks ago, Nia weighed close to 300 pounds.
So y'all better not be tired.
Currently, right now, we're a size 20, and my goal is a size 16, so I'm pretty much kind of halfway there.
She's already lost about 29 pounds, but without a permanent lifestyle change, the risks to her health will increase. So FFTS makes sure its members go through a complete re-education process.
Big difference. This is almost like having a tablespoon of fat added.
Which is why their next lesson will take place in the aisles of a grocery store.
Get in a good position, get nice and comfortable, and take a couple of deep breaths.
Trisha Boutte is exercising her vocal cords. Because she's a jazz singer who lost her voice.
I had serious pitch problems. My voice got very, very husky and heavy, like baritone husky and heavy. And I couldn't get very loud. I couldn't even scream without my voice just totally cutting out.
Surprisingly, Trisha's voice problems began 12 years ago when she was diagnosed with melanoma, the most deadly of skin cancers.
I had 2 spots that had melanoma. I underwent surgery and radiation and chemotherapy. Chemotherapy makes you throw up a great deal. And throwing up so much eventually gives you stomach problems.
So now, every time Trisha leaves her house, she checks her makeup.
Make sure that all of my makeup has sunblock in it.
And on sunny days, grabs her hat.
And I hate hats, but it does its job. It keeps the sun off of my face.
And makes sure her arms are covered.
Shirt, and this was the most stylish one they had.
Since being diagnosed with cancer, Trisha's been plagued with problems. The constant vomiting from the chemo resulted in severe acid reflux disease, which lasted 10 years and ultimately damaged her voice.
Singing was extremely difficult with acid reflux disease. You just kind of imagine like a sore throat times 10. Because stomach acid is a very, very powerful thing. It's so abrasive, it does so much damage.
Trisha's only hope was to undergo an anti-reflux surgical procedure. But as she was about to undergo the surgery, doctors detected that she also had a thyroid problem.
I had a condition called hypothyroidism. It's where your thyroid is not functioning up to its proper level or not functioning at all.
Hello, Miss Betty.
Medical therapy didn't work, so Trisha underwent surgery to remove her thyroid. a procedure that can cause vocal cord paralysis. The result, while successful, was also devastating.
My voice just didn't come back. I had no control at all, no power to it.
Trisha was told to find a new career. But instead, she turned to the Musicians Clinic, a non-profit health organization whose sole purpose is to provide medical care to members of New Orleans' underserved music community. Today, she's going to see a team of specialists with the hope that the proper therapy will help salvage her singing voice.
Give me your hands. May the grace of the universe be with you and upon you and to uphold.
In New Orleans, the complexion of voodoo is changing.
Thank you, Priestess. Thank you.
Once the domain of African, Creole, and mulatto shamans, today's voodoo practitioners are a diverse group, like Priestess Miriam, a native New Orlean, and Sally Ann Glassman, who hails from Maine.
People from all different ethnic backgrounds, different races, different nationalities, all manner of backgrounds are being drawn to voodoo.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Sally Ann has been a voodoo priestess, also known as a mambo, for 6 years.
And we'll light this up for you and keep you on the right path. The more I looked into it, the more I read about it, the more I found teachers, and the more experience I had in voodoo, the more I realized it was actually very sophisticated and very disciplined practice and a very beautiful, life-affirming religion.
Her tools of the trade are the elements of nature, and her guides are the lois, or patron saints of the spirit world.
This one represents the spirit Lesserin, who's a mermaid.
Hey, Sally.
Hello.
Along with her partner, Shane Norris, a voodoo priest.
Yeah, good choice of colors on the beads.
She runs Island of Salvation Botanica,
What you shopping for today?
Herbs.
Herbs? Okay.
Yes.
a type of apothecary that sells herbs, teas, and botanicals. It's also a place that dispenses advice on healings.
It's really a good idea to work with the John the Conqueror route because it helps you overcome obstacles.
Michael Charles Bill was diagnosed with shingles and liver problems almost 1 year ago.
Speaks to you?
Yeah, it does.
He sought a combination of therapies. First, medical treatment from his doctor, then alternative therapy from voodoo priestess Sally Ann. After 5 healings, Michael claims that cancerous lesions inside his mouth went away.
The doctor couldn't believe that they had disappeared. And he asked me, had I gone to see another doctor? And I said, no, I went to see a voodoo priestess. He was like, well, you know, whatever works.
Like most practitioners, Sally Ann discourages clients from using voodoo to replace traditional medicine, and she stresses that herbs are not FDA approved. But for clients who have serious illnesses, she believes voodoo can play a healing role.
When a person has a terminal illness, like cancer, like AIDS, you have to stop and think about what you mean by healing and whether you're talking about healing or cure.
Ashe.
Maybe the healing has to do with a person's ability to accept what's happening to them, to handle it with grace and agreement, to be in accord.
And that's where the voodoo ceremony comes in.
Do you think you're going to be able to come to the ceremony tonight?
I think so.
Let's do it, baby.
Each week, Sally Ann and Shane invite friends and followers to take part in a full-blown 3-hour voodoo ceremony. At tonight's ritual, Shane will try to rid Michael's body of the chronic liver problems that have plagued him for months.
Yeah, that was like 1935. Was the last week.
In her continuing effort to get fit and lose weight, Nia Davis is changing her lifestyle with a visit to the local market. It's a special field trip for the members of the Fun Fit and Thinsome program. The goal is to re-educate these overweight women about the do's and don'ts of food.
When you're going to use your calories, you want to use them wisely.
For a lot of these New Orleans women who suffer from obesity, Behavior modification starts right here in the supermarket aisles.
If sodium intake is a problem for you because of hypertension, make sure that you are buying the no added salt vegetables.
They're not shopping for food.
Hog-head cheese and hot sausage. These are two meats that are so popular here in New Orleans.
They're learning about it.
You need to make sure that you read the label and it says 100% juice.
The good,
Okay, if it's good enough for diabetics, certainly it should be good enough for you all.
the bad,
For every 5 olives, you're consuming 45 calories.
and the fattening.
Let's read the label here. Guess how many calories come from fat? 60. Would you ever take a slice of lard and just put it on the bread and eat it? We actually go from section to section, identifying what are some wise items that one should be purchasing. Okay, with this one, learning how to read the food labels is 25 calories a serving, and 10 of those calories are from fat. And just making lifestyle changes starting here at the grocery store. You want to stay away from the ham totally.
Nia has learned that her family history of cardiovascular disease and diabetes is directly related to food and diet, and that by changing what she eats, she's improving her chances of living longer.
For lunch today, we have chicken pita sandwiches that has lettuce and tomatoes and red onions in it, and carrot sticks, fruit salad, and some water. The program has taught me to stay away from foods that are high in fat, high in sugars, high in cholesterol, high in sodium, because those are the things that contribute to cardiovascular disease and diabetes.
Just ahead for Nia, her next milestone. A head-to-toe exam that will let her know if she's coming out from under the shadow of her deadly family tree. Albert Broussard is being laid to rest, but not until he makes one last journey through the street he called home. Bourbon Street in New Orleans' French Quarter is where Albert Broussard played his piano and sang his blues.
He thought music was a breath of life, and I couldn't think of anything that would be more appropriate.
So his friends and family thought it was only fitting that everyone on Bourbon Street
I'd like to have one last Johnny Walker Red for myself, and I'd like to have one for Al, too.
get one last chance to say goodbye to Papa Bruce.
Al Broussard, ladies and gentlemen. He'll live forever.
With a traditional New Orleans jazz funeral.
I think in New Orleans, jazz funerals have helped people, African Americans in particular, to go through a process in a healing way.
It's a lifestyle and a rite of passage, not only for the deceased, but for the mourners as well.
To use some of the important pieces of the culture, the musical pieces, the walking movement, which has to do with journey and celebration. So it's a helpful process for people in New Orleans. You have a group of people helping a family and actually helping a community to grieve.
As Papa Bruce's coffin is wheeled through the streets, his family and friends form a second line behind the jazz band. The second line originated in Africa, when mourners would perform a ring dance at a burial ceremony. The second line is open for strangers to join the mourners, who don't mind at all.
I was very proud to see that these people would have that much respect and that much love for my grandfather to participate in his procession.
A jazz funeral will bring people out from everywhere to come and be a part of it. So a family then realizes that they're not alone in their mourning of the death and celebrating that life,
At times, the music, too, is mournful. A funeral dirge, New Orleans style. But soon, there will be even more celebration and jubilation. For the past 2 years, jazz singer Trisha Boutte has been a patient at the Musicians Clinic, a nonprofit health organization funded by the LSU Health Sciences Center. There, a team of specialists is working together to save her voice. The 3-year-old Musicians Clinic was designed to take special care of its own.
Today. Good to see you again. Come on in.
Musicians are special people. They tend to ignore problems and ignore diseases until it actually impacts on their ability to perform, their ability to earn a living.
And patients are relieved to have a health care facility devoted specifically to their medical problems and lifestyles. Horn player Lance Ellis came in for a well patient visit, something he normally couldn't afford to do.
And this is what the New Orleans Musicians Clinic is all about, helping musicians who don't have the benefits, who don't have the funds to afford health, to get a good bill of health for themselves. That's what we need.
Come on, we're ready for you.
Then there's David Rowe, a street musician whose previous medical options were limited.
My only doctor choice in this town was pretty much to go to the emergency room at Charity.
But clearly it's much smaller, and there may be some that have even disappeared.
Now with the Musicians Clinic, I can come up here. I have a doctor, a primary health care giver, and she's turned me on to some of the best specialists in the world. So there is no comparison. I have a doctor now.
How have you been? It's been a while.
I've been good, aside from a cold that I caught.
Trisha Boutte hopes that vocal therapy will help get her singing voice back and her career.
When I started going to the Musicians Clinic, they treated you like you were a person who was coming in there with big money to pay big hospital type dollars. They treated you like we're going to do everything we can in order to make sure you're well.
Speech therapist Aloma Likes has designed a program to help strengthen Trisha's voice.
Diaphragmatic breath that you're letting out is she had limited intensity and poor quality, a hoarseness to her voice quality. So we started her with exercises.
When you breathe in, I want you to feel your stomach expand.
Breathing exercises, relaxation exercises to reduce the tension in her neck. Just relax your feet. You can space them a little bit farther apart. We did some digital manipulation to relax it even more, and then slowly improved her voice quality.
Good.
I'm snotty.
Good.
During the session, she'll work with 2 computer programs.
Again, concentrate on breath support, getting a good breath support.
The K-Allometrics, which is also known as the multidimensional voice profile. It measures the frequency of Trisha's pitch and the intensity of her volume.
We added a little intensity today just to see the quality of the voice.
Okay, glide down for me.
The other program, called VRP, helps Trisha gently stretch her vocal cords by playing computerized notes for her to match vocally.
I see you're still getting up to that E, so good.
These programs are both diagnostic and rehabilitative. They enable Aloma to identify a comfortable range for Trisha's voice and what Trisha can do to strengthen it.
Good. Is that good?
Yeah.
Since starting therapy 2 months ago, Trisha has already improved her range by 200%.
When she first came to us, she wasn't at 1 full octave. She only had a 6-note range.
Let's keep going up the scale a little bit.
Trisha should have probably somewhere around a 2-octave range. So right now she's at 1.5 octaves, but 2 octaves would be good.
Trisha's therapy continues with a visit to an ear, nose, and throat specialist.
So how's your voice been doing?
It's been good, aside from a little cold.
Who is helping her with another career and health obstacle. A node on her vocal cord. One that left untreated could end her singing career.
Give us a nice big E.
E.
That's better.
Hey, Mary.
Hi.
Hey.
You made it.
Yeah? Hobbled over here.
Oh.
Hannah Desmond has a serious foot injury.
The doctor said I had sprained my ankle and that I had developed plantar fasciitis. It's an inflammation of the metatarsal bone of the foot.
And you said something about the ligaments.
The ligaments are stretched.
And it's not getting better.
The doctor said it would take a month to 6 weeks for it to heal, but so far it's been 4 months.
Open the way. Open the way.
Tired of living with chronic pain, Hannah has decided to put her foot in the hands of Voodoo priestess Bloody Mary.
I want you to turn 3 times completely counterclockwise. That helps get rid of the negativity that might be around.
Okay. And that would be
And her unconventional therapy, relying on the elements of nature to heal.
This area seems very intense. I'm gonna do some energy work, little ritual, and I'll even make you maybe a gree-gree to take home with you to focus
good.
with, to help with meditation, and maybe a doll.
Oh, great. I've known her for several years, and I've seen some of the work she does, and I have great faith in her healing abilities.
Please sit here, over this area. Let your feet dangle in. The roots go deep down into the earth, and that's where the healing power will come from.
Mary starts by anointing the area with extra virgin olive oil, then blesses a piece of jute.
I will tie the string now that it has been blessed around the spot that is affected, and I will tie the knots. Making the 9 knots, binding with faith, hope, charity, all the things that help you heal, especially the faith, and swamp magic too.
What bone is that?
This is a backbone of an alligator, the vertebrae. Should leave that on there for 7 days.
Mary makes Hannah a traditional gree-gree bag, a medicine pouch filled with snakeskin, moss, and crawfish mud, or in other words, animal, vegetable, and mineral.
And this is definitely the spirit of place here to bring with you. You can keep it near your bed. Maybe put it in your shoe when you're not wearing it. Put it near your foot at the time you want to be healed. And even giving it to you is also more of a transfer of healing and energy. Ashe.
Ashe.
Spirit growth.
Next, she has Hannah make a voodoo doll,
Okay, here's the head.
Here's the head.
which will represent her.
Let's make this very thin doll.
Okay.
In modern-day voodoo, the doll is a visualization tool,
Now, we're bringing it up from
and
the
sticking pins in it is not negative, it's positive.
So the pin is just where to focus the healing.
If it was for love, put it in the heart. If it was for money, put it in the pocket. If it was for healing, put it in the area. And you could throw a little...
When Hannah gets home, the gree-gree and the voodoo doll will stay with her at all times.
So this will stimulate visually the remembrance of the healing, and the gree-gree will bring
spirit
back
of place.
the spirit of place. Okay.
That'll just expedite it. Nothing happens instantaneously. It'll feel better right away, but it'll take a little while.
Don't be trying to scare me now, Mary.
Mary expects her unusual remedies will help heal Hannah's ankle pain, but Hannah won't know for sure for several days. Michael Bill is hoping that voodoo can help him too. An elaborate ceremony to heal his liver problems is about to begin, when a voodoo priest tries to conjure up a spirit named Getty. At a New Orleans community center, a new group of overweight women is about to undergo a series of tests ranging from blood pressure to mobility. These women will make up the freshman class of New Orleans' Fun Fit and Thinsome program. Their goal is to lose weight and reduce their chances of succumbing to diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. Lessons Nia Davis has already learned after being in the program for 10 weeks.
We're gonna do 10 for 30 seconds.
Nia's class is getting ready to graduate,
All right, Nia, you gonna take a seat here?
which means it's time for Nia to undergo post-assessment tests
Ready, Nia? I'm ready.
to see how much she's improved in the past 2.5 months. Nia's assessment includes blood work to measure her glucose and cholesterol, blood pressure,
136/90. Okay.
a balance test to check for equilibrium,
All right, now you gotta go faster than that.
a fitness test to see how many steps she can take in a minute,
What was it?
48. Very good. Very good.
and a flexibility test to measure the limberness of her back and
Good
legs.
job. You got 34. Over 10 weeks, your body can do but so many changes. Hold it steady, hold it steady, hold it steady. Allow the women come in as first-time exercisers so they'll see major differences.
Nia Davis has improved dramatically.
That's 259 and 3/4
Yeah.
pounds.
In measurement terms, Nia's lost at least 30 pounds. And it's a very lean 30 pounds that she's lost. She has created a lean body mass for herself, which makes her more healthy.
Now that she's completed the program,
Good job, good job, good job.
Nia's ready for another big challenge.
10 weeks ago, this dress would not have fit at all. I would not have been able to put it on. So I'm excited about being able to wear it tonight.
This is Nia's graduation dress. In 10 weeks, she's lost 4 dress sizes.
I feel great. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see the change, and I like what I see. So I actually feel good about looking at myself in the mirror. I don't run from mirrors anymore.
Well, look, Miss Nia.
All of Nia's hard work will be honored at tonight's graduation ceremony.
That looks good on you. Very good. I am very proud of you.
At New Orleans Musicians Clinic,
And as you remember, we have to hook a whole bunch of monitors on you to get a good look at your voice box.
Is this the nose thing or the
And this is the mouth thing. This is a mouth thing.
singer Trisha Boutte is about to be scoped.
We'll put a little alcohol pad so it doesn't fog up either.
The instrument? A laryngeal endoscope, a sort of fiber optic periscope which bends at a 90-degree angle. It allows Paul Friedlander, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, to examine suspicious nodes on her vocal cords.
Beautiful. Say a nice big E, Trish. E. Good. Again. And big E. Okay. But you've almost got a little nodule on this side. The left cord looks like it's doing great.
It looked worse the last time.
It absolutely looked worse before you.
Since being under the care of a team of specialists at the Musicians Clinic,
As far as your reflux goes, that looks like it's improving.
Trisha's voice has been healing.
That nodule doesn't look like it did the last time I was here.
No, not at all. Definitely worse in April when we saw you last.
And the results of today's endoscopy prove it.
Since our first meeting, I think Trisha's voice has improved tremendously. This is our examination, which you can see is dated in January of 2000, and here's our current examination from today. On her right cord, she had a nice sized vocal cord nodule. From today's examination, you can see it's very subtle, but that nodule has decreased in size.
Okay.
With the assurances of Dr. Friedlander, Trisha's voice is ready for the ultimate test. Her first singing performance in over a year. It's early evening, and the Voodoo healing ceremony at Sally Ann Glassman's house is in full swing. Tonight, the group is expecting a visit from Getty, who is the spirit or loi of death, sexuality, and healing.
He's very ravenous when he shows. He wears a top hat. Tonight you'll see me with a top hat on in honor of him. And he is also the great healer. We call on his powers tonight to help us in any type of healing process.
It's up to Shane Norris to invoke the spirit of Getty.
I will call on him to open the spiritual doorways to allow the spirit of Getty to pass from the spiritual world into the physical world. We will sing certain songs and play certain drum beats designed to make that happen. We'll draw certain symbols on the floor with cornmeal, which are the symbols pertinent to that particular spirit, that particular loi.
And while all are here to seek help from the loi, the focus of tonight's healing ceremony is Michael Bill's liver problems.
His doctor has told him that there may be something abnormal with the liver, and we're going to call on Gede to heal him spiritually and do a physical healing on him.
It's an unconventional treatment for a conventional ailment, one which Michael's doctor believes might help him feel better spiritually and emotionally. But Michael's hoping for more than that. During the ceremony, Shane, as Gede, uses cigar smoke to blow away negativity. He also sprays rum over the participants as an offering to the Loa and to cleanse the atmosphere. He places a knife made of meteorite against Michael's liver as a symbol of excising the disease.
In particular, I asked to heal his liver and his psyche.
He then sucks on the area.
I was attempting to suck some of the poison out. Tomorrow I'll probably be very sick from that. I cast it out by probably throwing up or something like that. It's usually how it affects me.
Michael felt some effects immediately.
I was extremely agitated and very excited at the beginning of the ceremony. I don't know how best to explain it. I guess it's kind of like, I feel like a load has been lifted off me, I guess one could say.
The real test will come tomorrow, when he wakes up. But before the night ends, the ceremony builds to a frantic finale. The participants believe it is the culmination of the visit from Gede, which for Sally Ann is a sign that tonight's voodoo ritual was a success.
The mark of success in a ceremony is when the spirit actually shows up and participates, and as long as they show up, they're happy and they're satisfied with what was done, and he had a good time, it seems. Have fun! So that's a successful ceremony.
Albert Broussard's family is about to say their final goodbyes.
This is the will of the one who sent me, says the Lord.
After a procession through the French Quarter,
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
it's time to celebrate Papa Bruce's entree into heaven.
Lord, make your face shine upon him and be gracious to him and give him peace.
This concludes the funeral. You may return to your cars at this time.
Before the coffin is lifted into its final resting place, the jubilation continues. Experts say that this type of grieving allows mourners to heal faster.
When we're mourning and there's someone else there with us doing it, it lightens that burden and it lightens that grief.
Good man, good man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was good.
Thank you, Jesus. Did it for our daddy.
And when the mausoleum is sealed, goodbyes can be said.
Now we're going down to the cafe and have.
Yes.
But there is still the repast. A celebration of food, remembrances, and more music.
Generally, by the time the repast is over, then people go home and they're emotionally in a different place, that they can move on to the next day or the next couple of months and start to return back to some of the normal activities.
I know he's laughing about those two white horses carrying him in that carriage. That's one of the events of this celebration that I know he's just gleaming about.
The people that Papa Bruce left behind get some closure, knowing that this is exactly how he wanted to be remembered.
You know, the jazz funeral, that really helped because, I mean, everybody's there smiling, dancing, having a good time. You know, this is what he would want. Of course, we're human, so we're gonna cry, we're gonna be emotional. But, you know, this was my grandfather. This is the type of things that he liked to do. He was a jazz pianist, and we just wanted to respect him and show him, honor him in that fashion.
Good afternoon, everybody.
At the Fun Fit and Thinsome graduation banquet,
We're here to celebrate your success in this program.
Nia Davis is about to receive a very special honor.
Next, I have a special award. It's called the Wonder Woman Award. This is for the most disciplined and determined person in the group. Nia Davis, come on up. Come on up.
Along with 17 other women, Nia is celebrating with a certificate, a new outfit, and a new outlook.
That's for our Wonder Woman.
Overall, the experience has meant a whole bunch. Every facet, every aspect of my life has now been changed.
Now, after 10 weeks of exercise and hard work, it's time to dig in. Let's eat.
Clearly, one of the biggest signs of improvement can be seen by the behavior at the buffet. Women in various stages of dieting, eating all kinds of food in moderation.
There's a wide variety of foods for individuals to sample and taste from. However, you don't need to overdo it.
That's one way of measuring the success of this program. The other, by seeing how it has impacted Nia's future.
It's amazing how 10 weeks can actually change your life, and the way that I was living before is definitely not the same way that I'm living now, every aspect. My career, my education, my personal goals, my emotional health, my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health, it's just all been improved. I hope to see you all here.
You're not supposed to look.
Trisha Boutte is about to hit the New Orleans stage for the first time in a year. But tonight, she's not Trisha.
Life is good.
Life is good.
She's Sista Titi, jazz singer.
This is gonna be my first gig with my band. All of my friends are coming out and families coming out, and the last time they heard me, my voice was big like this, and it was kind of scary.
Read no more songs than this. Grapevine is not on there.
It's gonna make them all feel better to know that I'm doing okay.
Before she begins, she needs to prepare.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
With a special routine she claims is saving her voice, thanks to the Musicians Clinic.
4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, a little deeper.
Trisha's comeback is a success.
Oh, young man, you better take it.
She's once again able to hit the notes that bring her joy in a city where music breathes life into the heart and soul of its people. And makes life in the Big Easy a little easier.